You're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast, your new favorite podcast for everything Bills and Sabres. What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast, your favorite podcast for all things Bills and Sabres, with the pals Nigel, Tom, and Jake. We got episode 74 coming at you. Quick reminder, folks, you know the drill. Don't forget to follow the socials. We're on all of them with the handle at Let's Go Buff Pod. Tom, how many F's?
Two
F's in the handle at Let's Go Buff Pod with 2 F's. Come find us, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok. If you're on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment. Helps us out with that good old algorithm. And with that being said, Tom, to you I say, happy NFL playoffs.
Bonjour. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Before we go too far, happy freaking birthday.
Hey, thank you.
You
Appreciate
old
that.
man, you.
Yes, I turned 32 this past Sunday.
You're our elder.
I am the elder statesman here, which means everyone has to respect me and treat everything I say with a lot of respect and care.
We definitely already did that.
Good. Okay. It's good to see that most things won't change then.
Yeah, that's how it is. What's up, guys? I'm good. Happy Tuesday. And yeah, dude, right? It's NFL playoffs are here. It's the time.
It is. Torpedo, what's going on, brother?
It's cold enough for it. Yeah, it feels like NFL playoff time.
Yeah.
Anybody know what the weather's going to be like in Buffalo for Sunday? Nippy game?
I haven't looked yet. And also it's Western New York, so I try not to put too much stock unless it's like 24 hours in advance. But
that's very smart. That's very smart. Here, I can pull it up right here. We got gray skies, high at 29. So, but nothing crazy. So
cool.
Gonna be a day. 1 p.m. football in Orchard Park, baby.
Love that. Well, fellas, we got a bunch to get into here. Shall we start things off with a beer?
Yeah, beer, please.
Beer me, please. Here we go, boys. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Kadush.
Nicely
Jake, what are you
done,
drinking
boys.
tonight, buddy?
I have a all or nothing. So
Okay.
it's a fun little mantra for the playoffs.
That feels a little too real there, buddy. But yeah.
It's a pretty
Hell
can, Jake. What kind of beer is it?
It's a nice can. I'm so sorry. I'm lacking here. It's a West Coast IPA from Threes Brewing. I'm really thirsty. I haven't drank since New Year's.
Oh.
It's a West Coast IPA from Threes Brewing. Nice little can. Megan picked it up for me on the way back from the city last week. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Shit.
What are we sipping on?
I'm continuing my my local tour with Community Beer Works Peach Ring Sour Ale. So shout out my cousin. Cheers, buddy. I appreciate you, and cheers to you guys.
Those were great candies.
Hell yeah.
How much does it taste like it?
We're about to find out.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the first time you're taking a sip of it.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Jake,
You
that
got me a
beer
little
has a
mixed bag.
great color, dude.
Yeah, it's looking nice. I got
looks gorgeous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I worked hard
Thank
on
you, Jake. Well, I'm still continuing my Bearded Iris IPA trip here. I think I've done one of these, but attention, please. There's another little West Coast IPA. It is a double IPA though, so that's kind of been my theme lately on the pod with the beers.
It's
right,
perfect
fellas.
for our attention-grabbing selves. That's perfect. So
Yes, that is a good point, Tom. Good point. All right, folks. Well, we're going to start off chatting a little bit about the Sabres here. Oh, boy. Yes, they're still pretty bad. We dropped all 3 games on the West Coast trip that we were just on. So we recently played the Stars, the Avs, and the Knights. Lost all 3 of them. The Avs game in particular, similar to the last game we played against the Colorado Avalanche, was particularly painful. We once again got up with a nice lead and then completely choked it away yet again. That definitely almost happened again last night when we played Washington. And then our game against the Knights too was also just forgettable. Lost 3-1. And then, like I mentioned, we did manage to win last night against a very good Washington team that is the top team in the Eastern Conference right now, shockingly enough. But we did try to choke that one away too. We did give up a lead late in the third period, pretty on brand for us this season, and had to count on UPL to be huge in a shootout. But yeah, Jake, anything you want to mention in those games there? It was more middling hockey there.
A lot of very forgettable hockey in there. Yeah. The Colorado game, they gave up a couple leads. They were up 3-0, and then they were up 4-2, and then 5-3, I believe. They were up 5-3 with 4 minutes left in the game, I believe. They let Colorado tie it with 6 or 7 seconds left on the clock, and then just choked it away in overtime. It was fucking brutal.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Those Colorado games. I'm glad we don't have to play them anymore. I'm sure the Sabres are as well. Just forgettable hockey. And dude, they're riding UPL into the ground. I'm worried about his longevity this year. I think he's propping them up right now, but if he's playing every game like this, I don't know how much he's gonna be able to do that.
Yeah, he's seeing a lot of rubber, dude. He's seeing a lot of rubber indeed. I one thing about the Avs game, I should probably temper everything I said just a little bit, because that's another game that, like, if the Sabres weren't utter dog shit this season, that would be a loss that you can kind of hang your head on a little bit. I thought they played well enough to win that game in terms of their 5-on-5 play. It's just more of the same nonsense in the sense that this team can't play with a lead. Like, if we had, if we were a point out of a wild card spot or something like that right now, or maybe we're in a wild card spot, there's still things you can take away from that Colorado game that make you feel okay, but not with the way this team's playing right now. You don't get that luxury of being able to get a moral victory there. You got to fucking get some points.
Can we just cover the scoreboard? Can we just cover it up so they don't know that they have a lead?
It's because something's got to happen, dude. I don't know.
They've tried pretty much everything except that, Tom. So you might be onto something. But even if they were a point out, that's still an ugly game. That's if they were a point out of the wild card, that's one of those games where I'd be saying, man, I hope we don't regret that one at the end of the year. And now this is just putrid level of just get past it. Season's washed at this point, pretty much. Not to be too much of a Debbie Downer, but it's bleak. Yeah, they're not. Is it statistically possible to come back and make the playoffs? Yes. Is it probable? No, absolutely not. I refuse to get my hopes up, no matter what kind of run they go on.
Yeah. And on that note, despite the fact that we suck, and this is one thing that stinks in particular about us being so bad this year, is because this is the most wide open the Eastern Conference has been in forever, dude. At this point, we are still somehow only 6 points out of a wild card spot. But like Jake mentioned earlier, I think to me before we were getting gearing up here, there's 8 teams between us and the playoffs right now. So while there's only 6 points, there are 8 teams that are all freaking right up each other's ass and trading spots every single day, for us to get into the playoffs. So that's where it comes into the whole, is it possible? Yeah. Is it likely? No. Anything you want to say about the standings, Jake?
6 points is a lot to overcome for half a season. If you're battling with one team, you're saying you need to perform 6 points better than them through only half a season. That is really tough to do. You're asking the Sabres to do that against 8 other teams, and it's just not going to happen. But I agree, the chance is squandered. A team like the Rangers, who were a powerhouse last year, made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, have faltered. That's a team you could have been in front of. The Montreal Canadiens, dude, they went to the Stanley Cup final in 2020, which was a weird year. But then they've rebuilt and are now in a playoff spot, I believe, as we speak. It's crazy. It's crazy the chance that was squandered. Ottawa is in a playoff spot, and that's a team you should be kind of neck and neck with. But they've had their own share of issues and injury issues with Ullmark and things like that. There's a lot of missed opportunities for the Sabres to have made a splash this year, and they just simply have not. And it's they're mentally weak. I think that's what it comes down to. They have all the talent in the world, but they just don't have the mental fortitude to grab a lead and hold on to it.
Okay, now on that point there, Jake, I'm going to jump ahead to another bullet point that I've got here because I think it's a nice segue. Where's the blame going for you with that situation being at hand? Is it the players? Is it Lindy? Is it Kevin Adams? Is it a mix of the three? Is it an even split of the three? Does one group get more blame than the other? Where do you fall on that?
Dude, I've thought about this a little bit recently. I don't know if I'm putting blame on any of them or if I'm putting blame on all of them, but I think it goes back to 10 years ago, this being an issue. I'd put more blame on Pagula and Tim Murray and allowing what happened to have happened. And that's just tearing the team down to the studs, incentivizing losing to the players and the organization. That's what happened. And I think we all remember 10 years ago, if you were a goalie and you started winning more than one game at a time, you got traded, you got waived, you're off the team. I think that just stinks and permeates, and there's no way to get the odor away from the team easily. And I think that's kind of just lingered. That's where I go. So to answer your question, I didn't really answer your question. I think it's cultural. I don't know if it's any one of those people. I think it's in the room. I think the players have all the talent in the
Systemic.
world. I think the players have all the talent in the world. They're good players. They have talent. It's just not mentally being able to put it together as a team and go out there and take a playoff spot. They can say all the look in the mirror quotes they want, but it doesn't matter until they put it on the ice.
Yeah,
That's
How
the
do you
difference
feel
of
about
like a roster versus a locker room. Like, are you just a roster of good players, or are you able to put it together and play for each other and show up every night?
Yeah.
which is why the Buffalo Sabres are the New York Jets. That is why that's the case. Because that
How would
roster
you
has all the
answer that
talent in the
question?
world. I answer that question kind of similarly, but in the sense that, so if there's anything to be garnered from the Bills, right? Culture started at the very top with Brandon Beane and worked its way down. And Sean McDermott didn't get his culture vibes from Brandon Beane, but they were aligned in what the culture needed to be, right? And I think if there's anything to be drawn from that Bills team, is that it has to start with the GM, and that your GM and your coach have to be on the same page with culture. Because I think it is like there is a cancer on this Buffalo Sabres team right now, and it feels like, yeah, dude, it's just it does feel systemic. It does feel something that's like deep rooted, like, you know, like a trade, like if we trade Dylan Cousins, right? Like it's not going to fix anything, right? Because I think the root of the problem goes much, much, much deeper than that. I think, yeah, I think we just keep trying to take a cheap route with the coach and the GM, and there's a lack of congruency there in terms of what the expectation is. Like, I have a hard time believing that Lindy Ruff and Kevin Adams are on the same page with everything. Like, I just don't really believe that. They're two incredibly different people, you know, and not that people that are different can't be on the same page, but like, I don't know, dude. Lindy Ruff's been doing this for 1 billion years, and Kevin Adams been doing it for almost none. And that's where I'm like, are they on the same page? I'm not sure they are. Go ahead.
They might not. And I just want to say, I don't think Lindy Ruff is blameless. I think you have every young player on this team has either stagnated or taken a major step back since he started as coach. And you're not blaming the GM for that. That's a coach, and you're not blaming the players for that. If it was one player, sure, like maybe that guy has something going on. It's every young player on this team has either stagnated or taken a step back, in my opinion. You could maybe argue Owen Power has transformed a bit, but I think he's just that good of a player that he's transformed naturally. I think it's a coaching thing with Lindy Ruff. Like, I'm not trying to disparage him by any means. I love him, but I don't know if he was the right pick for this team. I said it back in the summer. I was hopeful, but not sure if he was the right pick. I really don't think he was now.
Yep. It kind of feels that way a little bit. Like, I mean, he said 30 games ago that he doesn't fucking know what to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't 30 games ago, but he's just like, I don't know what to do with these guys.
He didn't say it 30 games ago, but he probably was thinking it.
He probably was thinking it. Yeah. Jake, you mentioned a name that I want to talk about, and that name is Owen Power. And this is a place where you and I disagree. Because I am having a hard time finding the proof that Owen Power is a hockey player. And when I say that, I channel my inner Herb Brooks from the movie Miracle, and I want to go to him and tell him to stop being such a candy ass and tell him that he's not a hockey player. And then I want him to run at me and be like, I am a hockey player. But dude, I know the offensive upside has been great. And I myself on this podcast have given him his flowers for his offensive production. And there is nothing I don't want to take away from his offensive production. But Owen Power is not a forward. Owen Power is a defenseman. And I can show you, 3 highlights in the last 4 games where he is the reason that we're losing or that we're going into overtime late in the game. And to me, it just looks like this kid is fucking soft. And I'm nervous about it. And I think we disagree, Jake. So I'm going to give you the floor now. But I have growing Owen Power concerns.
I think it's fair to be concerned, but I don't think it's fair to judge or label yet. He's what, 21, maybe? He's young. He never was brought into the league. He never was drafted as a big, mean, shutdown hockey player type of guy. He was drafted as a free-flowing offensive creator that is going to make you pay in the offensive zone. And to be honest with you, that's kind of what he's done. I mean, he is good at that. I think a failure of the organization is to not find somebody to pair with him that complements that and sticks him with Yogi Haru and says, well, we did our job. He's got a partner. And the other thing, just addressing the physicality. Physicality is important, but I will also remind a lot of people were saying the same thing about Rasmus Dahlin 5 years ago. He's soft. He doesn't know how to block out in the defensive zone. He's not good in his own end. He can only score. And look what he's turned into. He's a two-way monster. Gets in guys' faces. He's a prick to play against. So I think the criticism in a bubble of this year, super fair, and I totally agree. There are games where he's fucked up, but on the flip side, he's super young. I don't think he's hit 200 games in the NHL yet. He's got room to grow, I think. So,
yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
He is 22, so you're right. And defensemen, I mean, correct me if you would disagree. I think defensemen hit their prime like 28 to 32 I feel like is like where some of those primes are, like their mid to late 20s into their early 30s, just because I feel like being a defenseman in hockey is such a cerebral thing, and hockey in general is a cerebral thing. Like you've got to be able to think 5 steps ahead. But yeah, I mean, if your prime is 28 or 27, he's still 5 years out of that at the bare minimum. So I can buy that. And you do have an outstanding point, because I think I said these same words about Dahlin maybe even less than 5 years ago. So you have another great point there. It's just hard for me. This is another player I want to talk about. But like, you see Zach Benson with this absolute pit bull mentality, dude. And he's in everybody's face and he's stirring every pile of shit he can. And just being, he's reminding me, dude. And I'm not saying the skill is there, but Zach Benson is giving me like Brad Marchand kind of vibes, dude. Like he's becoming a bit of a rat to play against. And I love that. And so when you see a 19-year-old like that with that mentality, with his size, that's a tough one for me to look at Owen P, be like Owen Power, be like, brother, like get a tablespoon of that into your game. So we fall a little bit short of one another on this one, but I don't think we're miles away from each other.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
That
go ahead.
That Colorado goal with Zach Benson was ugly. I completely agree with anyone. The whistle should have been blown. I don't know about you, but
you know what, dude? I would agree with that. I think that should have been blown dead. I also don't think that the goalie getting hurt was Zach Benson's fault. He was very clearly, to me, pushed into the goaltender. So like Avalanche fans that are preparing to send death threats to Zach Benson, If for those of you that might not be aware what we're talking about, in the Colorado game, one of the goals that the Sabres scored was from Zach Benson, but maybe 5 seconds beforehand, Zach Benson got shoved into the back of the goalie's leg, and the goalie was very clearly in pain, injured, not paying attention to the play, and Zach Benson got free and scored a very easy wraparound goal that were it scored against the Sabres, I probably would have broke my TV. So I agree with you, Jake.
Remember that Victor Hedman goal early in the year? UPL went down.
There you go. Yeah.
It happened already.
So, yeah, I don't think it should have scored or it should have counted. I agree with you on that. But the blatant hate that Zach Benson is getting is horse shit also, in my opinion.
Blame the refs. Blame the Colorado guy.
Yep.
I want to talk about
okay.
the potential trade thing before we move on, but I wanted to see if you had any other thoughts. I think we should close with that.
Yeah, just real quick. I got one more. I got to shout out Alex Tuch. Alex Tuch's been unreal, massive bright spot. I don't know. This feels like the next guy to not re-sign and go win a Stanley Cup the next year to me. But maybe growing up a Sabres fan, he re-signs. I don't know. But Alex Tuch is horribly underpaid, and I'm very grateful for his presence on this team. Any thoughts there real quick?
I totally agree. Yeah, he's excellent. I totally agree. If he moves on, he's a great candidate to win another cup somewhere.
Yeah. Kulich looks like he's hurt. Doesn't seem like it's anything horribly serious, but he is supposed to get evaluated from what I saw yesterday, Monday. I haven't gotten any update on that. Have you seen anything, Jake?
No, nothing. Just out for some time, I guess.
Okay. And then last one, we have two more sort of big-ish picture things to talk about before we switch over to the Bills. I'll ask mine first. This one's been burning up for me lately because Jason Zucker has 5 goals in the last 3 games. And the question is starting to come up pretty regularly. What are we doing with this guy at the deadline? He's 35 years old, or I think right around 35, maybe 33 to 35, somewhere in there. He's on pace to have his best statistical season ever in his career. So, Jake, if you're the GM, are you looking to re-sign Jason Zucker as a veteran that seems to be succeeding here and keep him around as, just a veteran presence in the room? Or are you looking to flip? So you're not looking to flip him at the deadline for a second-round pick?
No, fuck no. It's long past the time of flipping veterans for futures. We've talked about it here. People have talked about it all over. You need veteran presence to shape the locker room. They've been the youngest roster in the NHL for years, and they've shot themselves in the foot by doing so. He fits with the team. The guys like him. He's liked in the locker room. He scores. He's good on the power play. Re-sign him. No brainer. Re-sign him.
We're on the same page on that one. Do you re-sign him again to a $5 million deal?
It depends on the term. If it's another 1 year, sure, why not? Depending on cap. I'm not saying throw the bank at him, but if you haven't made a call to his agent to see what it would take, you're fucking up.
You're stupid. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. We align very much on that one. All right, Jake, your trade scenario. Hit me, dog.
So this one's come up a lot. So Elias Pettersson is the number 1 center in Vancouver. There is some serious fallout going on there, and there are some risks around him, but it is very much known that he is available for trade. Number 1, are you interested in him? And number 2, what does the package look like? And so I'll paint the picture this way. I've seen trade, proposals online and stuff of Dylan Cousins, a first and a second should get it done. And yeah, I'm smashing that trade button. But realistically, it's going to be a lot more painful to pry a player like that out of Vancouver. He's young. He's 25, 26. He's a number 1 center. He is dominant. He has a no movement clause until that doesn't kick in until July. So we could get him now, which is not rare, that is extremely rare. And finally, there's some injury concern. I think he has some lingering tendonitis that will probably stay with him for a while. So there's some risk there. What are you willing to give up? And if the package was Dylan Cousins plus someone like Owen Power, are you biting?
So obviously I'm interested because I think Elias Pettersson is objectively probably, I would say, a top 7 center in the NHL. Top 8. Absolutely top 10, right? And worth every dime of his $11.5 million contract. If the deal is Dylan Cousins and Owen Power, am I doing it? That's a tough one because here's where I falter. Right now, okay, I'll answer it like this, right? If Owen Power remains the same player that he is now and doesn't gain an edge in his defensive play, and let's say he even improves by 15 points a year offensively, I am making that trade because I am okay with not another high offensive upside defenseman because I've got Rasmus Dahlin and I've got Bowen Byram. That being said, and this is where I struggle a ton because I missed on Tage Thompson. I was ready to give Tage away for a bag of sticks a couple of years ago. And I did say the absolute same shit about Rasmus Dahlin that I'm saying about OP now, just too soft. And look at what Dahlin has become, and look at what Tage Thompson has become. So I might be the poster child for not giving guys enough time to develop. So given my track record, the smart thing for me to do would be to say no to that. Because if my track record stays the same, Owen Power is going to blossom into a top 10 defenseman in the NHL, and then suddenly the Sabres have 2 of the top 10. And that is a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. That is, it's something I've seen fly by. People throwing that rumor out there. So I thought I'd bounce it off you. And I agree with you. I don't think you give up Owen Power. I don't think you give up Dylan Cousins. Elias Pettersson is certainly an upgrade on Dylan Cousins. I think Dylan Cousins would agree with you. But he's still 23, something like that. He's 6'4". He's a right shot centerman. He's had a 30-goal season in his career so far. That's a player that has a lot of opportunity to get back to that. So I don't think I would go for it, especially with the risk around Pettersson. The one thing I will say though, I do salivate at it because Pettersson has a very similar to Tage Thompson-esque player with him in Vancouver in JT Miller. So if you slide Tage Thompson down to your number 2 center and you have Elias Pettersson on your top line, that's a pretty damn good top 6 center pipeline. So food for thought. I don't know. Just wanted to throw it around.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Crazy that he's available. I don't know what's going on in Vancouver, but all that being said, it's probably time to transition to our team that's actually good, boys. Anything else you want to touch on real quick, Jake? Or are you all set?
No, sir. Let's get on to the important team here.
Tommy, would you like to hop into the driver's seat, or would you like me to continue driving this bus of bozos?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe the Bills are the bus of bozos because we had the Patriots dismantle us last weekend, 16-23 loss, boys.
My goodness!
Right, I have not sent more congratulations on your wins text to my New England Patriots friends than I did this past weekend.
That's so funny, dude.
I don't think it could have been a better situation, and I'm pretty sure Sean McDermott knew exactly what he was doing. The best thing that came out of this game was that there was minimal injuries. There's only been one reported, and we need to hear more. Joe Biscaglia out of The Athletic was reporting that Brandon Codrington has a hamstring injury reported from that game. Not a great guy to have a hamstring injury because that guy seems to be spring-loaded, and I'm ready to see him rip one off in the playoffs. But hopefully that's going to be something that may just resolve itself, though I don't have much faith because a hamstring is usually something that lingers. Hopefully more than but the Patriots won, and unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, they fall from the 1st overall pick to the 4th overall pick. And I can't tell you how many of my buddies out here have been just absolutely ripping their hair out over how that happened.
Real quick aside, how big of a deal is that actually? If you it's 3 picks.
It's fucking huge.
And the big thing is the trade package, right? Right now, the big thing in the NFL is the top couple picks are all quarterbacks. The Patriots have an awesome young quarterback in Drake May, who's going to be a problem in the AFC East. So they don't need the quarterback, but guess what? They can just open the gates and say, hey, come on in, highest bidder. Who wants to pay up and come get this 1st overall pick? And they get the haul. They could still get a haul for the 4th pick, but they're not. I mean, teams are going to be trying to go knocking on the doors on the 1st and 2nd pick and try and move their way up there. So the big issue is they could have just taken the best available player and, at the 1st overall pick. But I think it was more likely that they would have traded down 10, 12 spots and gotten a haul.
Okay, that's hysterical. Thank you.
It felt to me like a colossal fuck up, dude. You trade out of that number 1 pick with the knowing that you have Drake May. There's like, to my knowledge, there isn't any like, there's no like Myles Garrett-esque edge rusher coming out of this draft. Like nobody like that, dude. I was concerned that they get that number 1 pick, they trade out, and somehow they end up with like 5 picks in the top 100. Like that. I mean,
or future first or whatever, right?
Yeah,
they
all of the
reload.
above.
They have a whole like a whole shotgun's worth of picks to go taking stabs in this draft and next year's draft. So
it felt like a colossal fuck up, dude, because the quarterback class going into this draft too doesn't look awesome. And the difference, if you're a team that needs a quarterback, the difference from 1 to 4 this year might as well be 20 picks. So it's pretty significant that they lost that, dude. I was honestly completely shocked.
Freaking Bazooka Joe came out and had himself a game, dude. He looks good,
bro.
I mean,
Joe Milton.
Yeah, he looks good. He came out. He was 6'5", 250, like Josh Allen size, and he came out and played. He's obviously been working and was ready to kind of display himself, and he did a nice job. This might have been Gerard Mayo's kind of goodbye gift to the rest of the team, because he was very quickly shown the door by Robert Kraft after that game, and I'm curious if he knew that he was shown the door, and this is gonna be a Lovie Smith situation where he kind of just won that game out of spite.
That if that was the case, dude, if that comes out, I love that for Gerard Mayo.
I know.
And for Bills Mafia.
All right. Fuck you, here and have a good time too. I think it was really cool to see that the Bills coaching staff was clearly trying to get a lot of our players these incentives, these contract incentives. Sam Martin scored a big payday. Von Miller scored a big payday. Mac Hollins scored a big payday. And I'm sure there's more that I can't remember off the top of my head. But I think that's a big thing. I think that shows exactly what kind of culture we have here in Buffalo. You go down to Dallas and you see Jerry Jones accidentally forgetting that Cooper Rush was going to have a huge $500,000 incentive if he played this entire game, and then sat him to play what's his nuts. That players will notice that Sean McDermott was out there letting Sam Martin punt at the Patriots 35 to go get, all right, he just needed one more punt within the 20 to get like a good size bonus. I think it was like $200,000. And he punted in a spot where if this was a real game and this was a game that mattered, they were absolutely going for it and there's no problem. We were getting points out of that drive. And that's a big deal that players, free agents, they're going to notice that Sean McDermott's a player's coach and ready to, like, this is a family. We're here for you. Get your money.
And you said the big one there, Tom, free agents, right? That is something you're absolutely right, dude. Agents will write that down and make that a note about the Bills, right? So that when the Bills come calling to a guy and, it's probably not going to be a top flight free agent, but when we go to that agent and be like, hey, we're interested in this player, he goes, man, this is a team that looks out for their guys, if nothing else. Yeah, it's cold, but this team fucking wins. They've got the best quarterback in the world right now, and they take care of their boys. And that is, everything you said is correct, Tom. I don't have to say it again. Absolutely. Just, I'm so proud to be a fan of the Bills because of something like that, right? Like, just, because you could be a fucking prick like Jerry Jones and keep dude, Cooper Rush is only going to make a couple $1 million in his career.
Correct.
Right? Like, it's not like paying Josh Allen $500,000 or $500,000, which is a drop in the bucket for him. $500,000 to a guy like Cooper Rush is significant. And Jerry, it's just, that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge thing to bring up. Good call by you to touch on that.
And other than that, I'm really excited for this next game to talk about. Is there anything else to really touch on from this Bills-Pats game? It was a preseason game, right? We didn't have huge monumental injuries. Josh Allen got to extend his start record, and I think it looked good.
We couldn't get Reggie Gilliam in the end zone, and I missed out on $150, but that's neither here nor there. Son of a bitch.
They tried setting it up, dude. It was there.
They did try. Yeah. They did try. Yeah, I can't get mad about that.
Damn.
All right. Well, yeah, we have a game that matters to get into. Tom, do you want to get us in?
Sure. Yeah. The Denver Broncos are coming to Orchard Park Sunday, January 12th. Holy cow. January 12th, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. football in Orchard Park. Let's go, baby. The Broncos are coming to town for the wild card weekend. This is going to be a big one. I'm excited for this one. This is a young team that's gotten pretty hot here at the end of the season, looking really good. Sean Payton has these boys coached up. Bo Nix is looking like a little bit of a guy. It's going to be a cool one. Nigel, is there what kind of what are the big keys, or what's a big key for you for this matchup?
Big key for me, dude, is we have a significant best on best situation here, right? And when we're talking about best on best, we are talking about the fact that the best part of the Broncos is their defense. I don't think they have a defensive statistic that measures like outside of the top 6 or 7. And then you're talking about the Bills offense, which is the same. So you're two Goliaths in terms of their strengths that are going to be facing one another. That's going to be where this game is decided. Either that or the Bills defensive line. But I think the big one is going to be, can the Bills put up points against this Broncos defense? Because it is arguably the best in the league. And we know that the game script for the Bills is the best when the offense puts up points and that defense can just tee off on the quarterback because they know they're going to be looking to pass the ball.
I totally agree. I think so. There's a couple points here that I think really help paint this picture. And I have a big prediction that I want to kind of like plant my flag on for this game. The Broncos play a lots of man coverage. They're at the 3rd highest rate in the NFL. So they trust their back 7 to take care of business, and then let their front defensive line go in and play, use stunts, very blitz aggressive. Like, they have the horses in every part of that defense to really impact a game and take over a game, to be honest with you. That interior defensive line is led by DJ Jones, who's just a stud. He's everything I want Daquan Jones to be right now. Like, he's everything I want Daquan Jones to be. And unfortunately, Daquan is not, but DJ Jones is. So our interior 3 are going to have their hands full with DJ Jones. I think it's important that Patrick Surtain is their star cornerback, stud. The guy's amazing. Probably the best cornerback in the league. I love Christian Benson. I think he's a top 5 cornerback in the league. Patrick Surtain is my vote for number 1. Thankfully, there's only one Patrick Surtain on that team, and we have 5, 6, 7, 8 different weapons, right? If this was last year's team and we had Stephon Diggs, and yep, we need to funnel everything through Stephon Diggs, I'd be concerned. I'm less concerned because we have multiple solutions for something like this where, sure, you can take away Keon Coleman on this play. You can take away Amari Cooper on this play. Okay, like Josh has 5 different answers, and we've been playing that way all year. You're not asking us to do anything different. I think, and this is my big prediction, I think this is going to be a big Ty Johnson game. Josh has the 7th highest success against man coverage in the league this season, and that's very much rooted in his ability to get the ball out to his running backs. The Denver Broncos are 31st in DVOA against running backs in the passing game. I think they can be had. And we've already seen Ty Johnson, and we've seen a Bills scheme and a Bills game plan center around Ty Johnson. I think he's going to have a big role again. I think all these running backs, I think Ray Davis and James Cook are going to be catching passes as well. But I think this is a Ty Johnson game.
Here's my rebuttal to that, Tom, and this is not. I'm just curious because it just popped into my head as you said it. Do you think the Bills lost the element of surprise with playing that card against Detroit?
No. Because
okay.
I still think the fact that Denver is clearly, not that they're a bad defense, but that seems to be a chink in the armor of their defense. What are they still need to stop it, right? And it's not like, they're 10th in DVOA. No, they're 31st out of 32, right? Like that's not great. Sure, they may adjust for it, but then that opens up other solutions, right? That opens up something else. I'm sure that Joe Brady and Josh Allen are ready to say, hey, if they decide to then take away this first solution, we have solution B, C, D, and E in the back pocket ready to go.
Yeah. You're absolutely right about Pat Surtain, too. I think he is the best cornerback in the league right now. And I think what Denver's probably going to do with him, because there's no like legit number 1 weapon that we funnel all our targets to, I imagine what they're going to do is just plant him on that offensive right, defensive left side, because that is where Josh Allen is most dangerous when he rolls out. And that is where he likely is probably his most dangerous in terms of improvisatory plays. So I would imagine they put Pat Surtain on that side in order to try and mitigate some of that stuff. My other concern about Denver, this Nick Bonito guy is a problem. I mean, you're talking about maybe the best defensive end in football right now. You know, obviously you got your Myles Garrett and stuff like that, TJ Watts and everything, but this guy is a problem. He has been a problem all season. He's twitchy. He's fast. Obviously the Bills have great offensive tackles, but I'm a little bit worried about this guy against Spencer Brown, as Spencer Brown is shown to be the tackle that can be had against really twitched up guys, which Bonito is. So that is something for me to watch in this game as well, as Nick Bonito and how he is deployed against this Bills offensive line.
But Spence has handled his business this season. I agree. Last season, sure, I'd be worried. This season, he's had 17 games of he's solid. I think, again, this is good on good. Like you said at the beginning of our conversation, this is good on good. Somebody's going to be had. I think Bonito's going to get his way once or twice, maybe 3 or 4 times. But I trust this offensive line to keep Josh safe. He's the least sacked quarterback in the league. They allow the least pressures in the league, right? Like I think we're gonna be okay. I agree that's gonna be a spot where it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a really cool spot to watch as this game is going on. So pay attention down on that in the trenches. But I'm feeling okay. I might be feeling a little, be drinking the juice a little bit, but I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah, and I'm notoriously nervous about everything. I bug out over everything. I'm already so nervous about this game. I think this is the Bills' toughest wild card round opponent in the last several years.
Sure. Yeah, let's go. Let's run that back. Who was it last year?
That's a great question. I don't remember.
Okay. Well, you keep talking. I'll look it up.
Okay.
I got it.
Was it Miami?
Miami. Skylar Thompson, Miami last year.
Was that last year? I thought that was a couple of years ago.
No,
that was last year.
Yeah,
I was there.
Last year? Okay.
Oh.
Was I there?
You might have been.
Good God, I think I was.
I know we've had Indianapolis in the wild card recently.
Yeah, it's just this Denver team. It's that defense, dude. That defense is good at everything. They're good at stopping the pass. They're good at stopping the run. They run a 3-4 defense, which the Bills have not seen a ton of this year. 3-4 defenses are unique in the sense that they allow a lot of flexibility in terms of disguise coverages, right? So there was a clip flying around on Twitter of a particular defensive setup that the Broncos had, and it looked like a 4-3, but then the defensive ends dropped. They blitzed a linebacker, and then the safety that looked like he was going to be the cover one, the one high safety, shoots down into the hole down by the linebackers to take away a crossing route. And the two cornerbacks, one of the cornerbacks and the nickel drop and have the deep parts of the field covered. So it's just going to be some really unique looks, dude. This defense is just not to be trifled with, dude. And good defenses this season have been an issue for the Bills. They just have been. So, Tom, you're looking at me like you're ready to say something.
No, I'm agreeing with you, man. I think it's gonna be a tough matchup. I do think that the Broncos are gonna have their way with the Bills a couple plays. I don't think this is gonna be a monumental offensive output on this game. I don't think we're gonna see something crazy. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. And I think they're gonna really kind of put Josh Allen through his paces. But I trust Josh to come up with solutions because he's gonna have his way too. He's going to. And I think it's gonna be really interesting. I'm really excited to see Von Miller play against his former team. He won a Super Bowl, right, with the Denver Broncos. He was Super Bowl MVP in 2015 with the Denver Broncos. So kind of cool that he gets to kind of see them back. Before I go even further, one past point about the defense. I'm really glad that we're playing this one at home, right? So we don't have to deal with crowd noise while on defense, right? And like we'll be okay here. While on offense, excuse me, and helping the Denver defense. Our Orchard Park fans, Bills Mafia is gonna be able to help out the Bills defense and really get in the Bo Nix's head here.
Yeah, and while we're talking about Bo Nix, obviously we should probably get to him. This is a guy that is not to be taken lightly, dude. He is a rookie quarterback, and he shows moments of truly being a rookie quarterback, and there is no denying that. But I see a little bit of a Josh Allen mentality in this kid, dude. He's just a gamer. And when I say he's a gamer, he's ready to do whatever he needs to do to get that first down, whether it's throw a crazy pass, put his body on the line. Like, the kid is not to be taken lightly. He's athletic. You have to make sure you contain him, right? Which means the front four has to be sound in their gap responsibilities, and the linebackers included there, right? Because, if this guy starts to get going with the legs, like, it's going to be a wrinkle that we're not going to be ready to deal with. So you got to keep him contained. And you just, I mean, the proof is in the pudding these last several weeks, dude. Bo Nix looks like a competent NFL quarterback.
Correct. And I would like to rebuttal against who? He
Me,
played.
I guess.
he played the Chiefs backups last week.
Uh-huh.
But prior to that, he played Cincinnati, which clearly is not the defense that we thought they were. He played the Chargers defense. They're a good defense. He played the Colts. I don't know if we're going to really say much about the Colts. He played the Browns. We're not going to say much about the Browns. He played the Raiders, right? Like Falcons, Chiefs again, right? They only beat the Chiefs. They lost to the Chiefs by 2 points, right? Like, but I don't know. I'm not too worried.
Yeah,
I'm not too.
Yeah,
worried.
It's fair, man. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, regardless of who your opponent is, your mentality stays the same, right? And
True.
It's just the fact that it's the playoffs, and you don't get a second shot.
I know.
But,
that's the thing. It's crazy. But I'll take Sean McDermott and Bobby Babich against a rookie quarterback any day.
Yeah, and you said the key name there. Now, here's my only concern, right? We just played a rookie quarterback in Drake May a couple weeks ago, and what did we do? We threw the kitchen sink at him in terms of blitzes trying to confuse him, and he didn't even flinch, right? So here's what I can't see. I can't see a repeat of that, right?
True. Yes.
And now I don't know that Bo Nix and Drake May are the same on the cerebral level. And if I had to guess, based on what I've seen between the two, they are not, right? Bo Nix has a little bit of that wild card Mustang Josh Allen vibe to him, where Drake May is going to be a little bit more reserved and take that safe play. So, yeah, I don't know. I know I'm starting to repeat myself a little bit, but it's just, continue, Tom.
No, and I think I agree. I think he's going to make some spectacular plays. That would be the sour. Thank you very much.
Hey.
So he's gonna have his plays, and it's gonna be fun to watch. But I think at some point he's gonna show his rookie colors.
I agree.
The Broncos have their wins are against Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell and the Raiders, Gardner Minshew and and Ritter from the Raiders, Spencer Rattler, Bryce Young, Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston, Richardson and the Colts, and Carson Wentz. I hope that their defense not locks them down. I hope that they look dominant and look like the best in the league. They've lost to Herbert twice. They lost to Mahomes. They lost to Lamar. They lost to Justin Fields and the Steelers. And they lost to Geno Smith. So I think Josh Allen joins that list on the right. I think he's very easy,
He would.
Right?
He absolutely does. You're 100% right. There is no debate that he's right in that bucket of Mahomes and Jackson
and my nerd's going to come out because Josh Allen, playoff Josh Allen, is Super Saiyan Josh Allen, right? The guy, right? He turns on another level. So we know that's coming. We know it. He's shown it every year, every time he's hit the playoffs. So I'm ready to take him. I think this is going to be. I'm excited to kick off this postseason. The Bills need to go out and take care of business. We're home, play in front of your home crowd. Bills Mafia, take care of business.
They should. On paper, this is a team that the Bills are a team that should win on Sunday. But defense does make me nervous, but there is no doubt in my mind right now that Josh Allen right now at this point in time is the best quarterback on the planet. And I will ride with that every single time, 100 times out of 100, no questions asked. I just got myself a little jazzed up. Let's go Bills.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. So I think all respect out to Broncos country. We appreciate
Absolutely.
you guys. I hope it's a great game. I hope everybody gets out healthy. But I do think this is a Bills win. I think we do some score predictions, and then I think we do a playoff bracket real quick together as a
Hey,
pod.
let's
So
do it.
my score prediction, I think it's gonna be low scoring. Nigel, you had actually stolen my score prediction. I think it's gonna be 24-20 Bills. Low scoring game, and I think we're gonna take it out.
Yep. I go 21-17 Bills. I think it's tight. I don't know that we hang our normal 30 points on this Broncos defense. And I think our defense, which is absolutely suspect, I don't know if we talked about that enough. The Bills defense is fucking suspect. I think Nick, Cortland Sutton, who's a big body that we've struggled with this season, I think they're going to get their licks in, but I just have to, I got to ride with my boy. I got to ride with 17, dude. So I'll say it's going to be close, 21-17 Bills.
I got 28-20 Bills.
Okay.
All right. I like it. So for our audio listeners, come on over to YouTube, and we're going to project and look at a playoff bracket together. So if you want the visual, come on over. Round one.
We should set some ground rules here real quick. Are we doing like this? This is predictive, right? Our honest gut opinion.
Yes, but it's two.
Okay.
It's a trio, so we get to outvote each other if we need.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
All right. Well, I think we just said that the Broncos are winning this one, right?
Nope.
Okay. Bills beat the Broncos. AFC wildcard game 2. Ravens versus Steelers. Who are we taking here, boys?
I'm going Ravens here.
I'm Ravens.
I would tend to agree with you, though. I think it's interesting that it's a divisional matchup. It's the third time they're playing this season. You know, like
Pitt
how many times can you be ahead?
Pitt already won once this year too.
Right? Which Russell Wilson shows up, I think, determines this game.
Bingo.
Right? But I agree with you. Let's go Baltimore Ravens. The third AFC wildcard round game is the Texans versus the Chargers.
I'm going Chargers here. I just don't. The Texans feel like they're limping into the playoffs to me, and the Chargers look pretty solid. I go Chargers here.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Chargers are built for the playoffs. They have a great run game and a great defense, right?
Yep.
Everything Harbaugh wants out of that team. So I agree. I'm going Chargers. All right, divisional rounds. We're doing the whole AFC side of the bracket, and then we'll get to NFC in a little bit. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers.
Dude, this one, to me, I if I'm a Chiefs fan, I don't want anything to do with this.
Now,
which I love. I am not ready to bet against Pat Mahomes, so I'm going to take the Chiefs here. But if I am the Chiefs, I want nothing to do with this game.
I agree. I love that it's a divisional game, and that's the matchup I want the Chiefs to have to play. I'm also taking Chiefs, but I think I could very easily see this Chargers. Jake, do you have anything to sway us, or going with the Chiefs?
No, I think the Chiefs will win.
All right, Buffalo Bills hosting the Ravens in the divisional rounds. What do we got here, boys?
This is where, God, dude, I don't even want to put out the voodoo. I'm terrified.
We don't have that power. I think we all have to raise our right hand. We don't have that power. We do not
have that power
in the universe. We think we do because we're
power.
sick in the head and we're delusional. And
You're right.
You're right.
But we do not. You're right. I did need to say that, dude. I actually, okay. My honest opinion here, though, I don't think it's not that I don't think. I don't like the Bills' chance to win against the Ravens. I don't think this defensive line is built to handle Derrick Henry. This defense is limping into the playoffs, and Baltimore is still dominant. Lamar's playing out of his mind right now. Offensive Player of the Year candidate. That's it, though.
So
no,
my
rebuttal.
It's hard to beat a team twice in a year, and we're home this time.
Yeah, I would buy both of those, but I don't know, man. I don't know that this Bills team is built to beat this Ravens team.
Okay, well, I'm going Bills. Jake, what's your vote? You get to be this way.
Oh man, I get to be this way. I think it's going to be tooth and nail, hard fought. But I agree with Tom that it's hard to beat a team twice, especially where we're at home field this time. I'm taking the Bills.
Bills. All right. So we get to the AFC Championship game, the game that everybody wants to see, the whole NFL. Any fan out there wants to see this game. Chiefs at Bills, or Bills at Chiefs, excuse me. Guys, this is the game of our nightmare. Except the fact that this is the way that you want this to happen. If we were to go to the Super Bowl, this is what you want us to have to go through. Ravens have to go through Buffalo, and then Buffalo to have to go through Kansas City. That's how you want it to happen.
Yeah.
Agreed. I wouldn't want a single Chiefs fan to be like, "Oh, well, you didn't beat us, so it doesn't
Exactly.
count as much."
Right.
Exactly. And boys, I'll jump on this one first. I've never been less afraid of the Chiefs. I'm sorry. I just don't see a thing that has me afraid of them right now. If we get to this point, Bills.
Yep.
And I'm not even sure it'll be that close.
All right. Fucking
I
go
don't
Bills,
disagree.
baby.
The only reason I would disagree is because of fear, and I don't think that's a good reason.
Yeah.
Right. But and I think, we beat them by 2 scores earlier in the season. We have the formula. Bobby Babich had a great game plan for the Chiefs offense. Like I think we can take care of it. So I'm going Bills. Let's go to the Super Bowl, boys.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Let's
NFC wildcard rounds. Eagles, Packers at Eagles. Excuse me. I have to do that in the right order. I think this is a easily Eagles team. I think they're a very well-rounded team, and they're a wagon right now. And I think the Packers are just falling to pieces. They're inching their way into the playoffs right now.
The Christian Watson injury is huge. Jalen Hurts is still currently under concussion protocol, but I think
that's not gonna be a thing by this week.
Even if he is still concussed, he will probably play the game on Sunday. So yeah, I'll go Eagles.
Yes, he's gonna play. All right, Eagles. Okay, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Washington Commanders. This will be a fun game. I'm actually excited to watch this one.
I am also excited to watch this one.
Mostly because I don't really care about either one. I don't have I'm kind of indifferent. I think Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers can turn it on, right? Mike Evans and Bucky Irving, like they can turn it on and figure it out. But I think the Commanders have a lot going on. I'm going to take Commanders in this one, but.
Yep, and we differ here, Tom. I'm gonna go with the veteran presence in Baker Mayfield over Jaden Daniels here. So I would take the Bucs. Jake, you get the tiebreak.
Oh man, I was hoping not to tie break this one.
Which quarterback do you like better, Jake?
No, I've been watching Jaden Daniels this year. Tampa Bay has won a championship recently, so for purely those reasons, I'm picking Washington.
Yeah, I think that's a good story, right? Get Jaden Daniels a first playoff win.
I'd love that.
All right, the Vikings are going to Los Angeles, which is just bonkers, right? That last week's game was crazy. I think the Vikings take care of business. I think their run defense is awesome. I think Sam Darnold can put on the hat one more time for one playoff game. I just don't think it goes very far.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's I'm still, and maybe it's not going to happen, dude. And maybe all this time he's been great. I'm still just waiting for the regression to the mean. With Sam Darnold, but I don't think it happens against the Rams. I'm with you, Tom. I go Vikings in this one.
Agree, Jake?
Agree.
Cool. All right, Lions Commanders. I think the Commanders had a nice little run. It was a nice story, but hello to the buzzsaw. Lions take this one.
Lions.
Yes.
Okay, Vikings at Eagles. We're another really awesome game here. I think the Eagles take care of business here. And despite the Vikings run defense, I think Saquon just takes over, and this is just a bananas game.
Yeah, and this Eagles defense is good, dude. This has, to me, all over it, written all over it, Sam Darnold struggle.
Yeah. Okay, NFC Championship. Eagles at Lions. What a game. Whew.
I'm not voting against the Lions.
I think you can't. I think the story has been written already. And I think unless they sustain more injuries in that prior game, in that divisional round game, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my God. Bills Lions for the Super Bowl. I think we leave it here. I think this is the voodoo I don't want to touch.
Oh, okay. Tom, I'm honestly fine with that.
Agree.
Okay, but I think this is a picture that we would all we would take 10 times out of 10 and twice on Tuesday.
Yup, and I will say this again, dude. I just because it's the Lions and the Bills we're talking about here. I am as excited as I am for Bills Mafia because we deserve this, right? We deserve every bit of every success because we went through some shit. There is no other fan base that went through the same amount of shit or anything close to it than Detroit. So any Detroit fans that maybe, see this, if it's not us, I hope it's y'all because it's about time that somebody else gets their flowers. So cheers to you guys. I'm super stoked that y'all are having such success You had a fucking hell of a team over there, and nothing but respect to Lions fans. So
Totally agree. That's the matchup we want, right? That's the matchup everybody wants. Everybody I talk
Everybody.
to, they're all like, "Oh, well, imagine if it's Bills Lions," and
It'd
I
be
just
so
like,
fun.
just crumple. I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't know. I don't want that."
yeah, I'd shit my pants, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, boys. Let's
sir.
we gotta
Week
get
one.
through Denver
Yep.
first.
Yep. Broncos at Bills this Sunday. Get out there, folks. Have a great night.
Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for spending some time with us. Please give us a like and a follow on Instagram, X, TikTok, and our YouTube channel at Let's Go Buff Pod. These are my pals, Jake and Nigel. My name is Tom, and you're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast. We're sending you love wherever you are. Go Bills, go Sabres, let's go Buffalo.